everybody, we're live again. Welcome to another amazing Friday.
Evening.
Hello. How yous all doing? Everybody well? Everybody here on my panel? I mean,
Yep.
Good.
Well, looking forward to the next hour.
Good. And we've got lots of people in the chat. Lots and lots of people in the chat, so that's nice. It's always nice to see, what we're doing, getting support and people tuning in and watching it. It's really...
interaction as well.
Yep. Get the questions coming in with the answers preferably as well.
For Danielle not.
Yes, tag them all to Danielle. So, last week's video, that was quite a long one. But we seem to have quite a lot to say. That's unusual for us to have a lot to say, right enough. But I thought it was really good. Steph, how did you feel last week went?
Yeah, long. It didn't feel long because they did have a lot to say. I thought it was quite interesting about the reconstruction and how it didn't match the statement and stuff.
Yep.
That's one of my biggest bugs about the whole thing. I'm like, so obvious, it's right there in front of your face. The police actually created that reconstruction themselves, yet still accepted her witness statement as having seen Jodi and Luke. It drives me mental. But yeah, I really loved last week. It was good.
So was there anything last week that you thought, oh, I wish I'd said that, I wish I'd, after the fact? Because, sometimes I know myself, if I've been on and you're saying things and I said that last week as well, but it does happen. You get off from being on and you think, oh, I wish I'd said that, So for you personally, was there anything that you thought, oh, I wish I said that?
No, I didn't think it, but then I found out something later on. I was watching the original documentary, the Frontline Scotland documentary, and there was a reconstruction. I'm not sure if they did it themselves to sort of display a reconstruction or if it was done by the police. I'm not sure, but in this reconstruction, Jodi, she did have the same clothes on, the Deftones hoodie and black baggy trousers, but she had her hair up instead of down. And I was like, and funnily enough, she had a red hair tie in her hair.
Yep.
All right, okay. That's funny, considering it wasn't in the original reconstruction, which would have matched exactly what her family said she looked like.
Yes.
But this red hair tie, clip, thing, whatever it was, kind of got bandied about. And apparently it came from a journalist, but they don't really know why he wrote that down after speaking to Luke. But it's like it's just been ingrained in people's minds so much that it's changed how everybody puts over what happened, when you can clearly see in the beginning she didn't have her hair up and she didn't have her red hair tie.
Yeah, it's crazy when things like that happen. It's like, it's not like folklore, but it's like something that ends up being, a wee detail that ends up, amplifying and ends up in everything. And that's how these crazy things happen, It's like when we Chinese whispers, that's what I was trying to think, the Chinese whispers.
And that's the thing, like that reconstruction video might not have been used for the police, but you would think that it's been used for the TV programme. It would be as accurate as possible, and you'll be getting information from like police and actual statements. So
yeah,
I noticed that as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Kenny, how did you feel last week went then, and were you happy with how it went?
I think it went well, and I think sometimes it can only be as good as the chat as well, because one of the reasons why we went for quite a long time was because of the questions. We get a lot of good questions, a lot of good points have been raised by the people watching.
Yep.
So that kind of helps, what we do. Yep.
Now I've heard some people saying, that guy likes his quotes, I've heard somebody saying that before. Was there any quotes you didn't get to say last week? Was there anything that you remember that you thought, oh, I wish I'd said that?
No, I was all quoted out, but I've maybe got one or two.
Your quota of quotes.
Sharon, Louise has just put on the chat wondering if there's technical issues tonight. I don't know what she means by that.
Hang on, I'll just see if
Well-
it says we're live. Hang on a wee sec.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if she's joking, but I don't.
Are you joking, Louise? Answer us right now.
Can you hear
Why am I typing it? It's like-
I don't
Oh,
know.
I wonder
If
if-
anybody's actually watching this, give us a thumbs up.
You know. No, but it says we're live. I mean, I don't know whether it's
Well, if for whatever reason this isn't going out live, we can always.
Joris
put it
can
out
see
afterwards.
us and hear us perfectly.
Yeah,
Thank you, Joris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See if we having to try and type something and trying to see. That's good. That's good. Louise. But you're always better to check. You are always better to check. And
Yeah,
normally
What?
I would have my phone, look at my phone, and or as Paul says, he's setting monitor, to just see whether we're on live. But I hadn't actually done it, so that's why I was like, right. So anyway, so yeah, Danny, how did you feel last week went? Did you enjoy it as well?
No, I don't think it was really good because it was really informative because there was a lot to get into. So I think that was good. And again, like Steph said about the differences between what the police released as a reconstruction pared down, but then what they accepted from statements didn't match. So why are they putting it false? I mean, like false stuff, basically. So that's the same. That's what I was thinking.
So was there anything that you thought afterwards? I know it's like the same question, but is there anything you thought, oh, I wish I'd said it? Was there anything that's been bugging you this week?
No, I think it was only that, like I talked about that, remember the description stuff, but obviously I knew we'd probably talk about it when we came back. So.
Yep. Oh, good. Oh, I nearly forgot to add the cheesy bit, the bit that always makes us laugh, when I had our wee banner, Have to add that, just in case there's anybody new that's never seen us before, wonder what we're all about, what we're doing, why we're here, what's our name and where we come from, we're part of the team of the group name that's below, as you can see there, and all the information is in the video description for the group, the group's Twitter and TikTok and all the places where you can get involved in helping to spread the word, because that's what needs to be done the most. Keep talking. Not going to say it, but keep talking. So yeah, that's enough of the ego part there, having our thing there at the bottom. But yeah, I mean, for me, I've been enjoying the videos. I've been enjoying watching them. Not watching myself, but I've been enjoying watching you guys and seeing how well yous have been doing, from the first one and then, the second one and then seeing yous tonight as well. And I'm sure that yous won't recognise it, but you actually, when you're doing something like this, you do get more confident about it. So I'm expecting big things from yous tonight.
No pressure then.
I had to say that. That's me just joking. I'm joking. I had to say that, because every week's different. That's the thing. Every week's different, and every every time duration for the video will be different. So, because we don't just stick to a specific time. It's like when we've said everything that's to be said.
That's your way of saying we might go off on a tangent.
Is that what I'm saying? Maybe I am. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go off on any more of a tangent. But yeah, I mean, I just want to just have a wee nosy. Can you see the chat as well? Because there's quite a few people here, and I just wanted to kind of shout a wee hello to everybody, and because Alice is here and Rosemary's here. I hope I don't miss anybody. I always hate doing that. They always say don't shout out. Kirsten's here and Joris is here. He's our fan, aren't you, Joris? You're a fan of the Scottish Dream Team. And I don't know if I said Louise, like say Cheryl, Kay, Little Barb. Oh, I always say Little Barb. I'm sorry, Lil Barb. Being Green. I'll say it the right way round because I always say it the wrong way round. And
Stacey and Gemma as well.
Yep.
Good.
T1. Much love and respect to you too. And obviously Sandra. That's Sandra. It's here as well. You know. If anybody doesn't know who Sandra is, you know, I'll sort you out later on for ignorance. Just having a Derek's here as well. And hi Sharon. I know City as well. Aye, so that's me caught everybody. Just in case I missed it. I'm sorry if I've missed anyone. It's completely by accident. So have you got the questions already?
I've got the question.
Or
Well, the question, the bit from the...
yeah,
It was,
yeah.
Yeah, if that was even English. I'm glad you know what I'm saying. Right.
I think we need subtitles for us all tonight, actually.
Get it on the chat, I know.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Please
Okay.
proceed.
Okay. What was significant about Jodi's body being discovered by Mitchell and the search party? I feel weird calling him Mitchell. Mitchell discovered Jodi's body, which was hidden behind a wall on the path, after claiming his dog led him to the scent. Family members with him said that he appeared to know where the body was. They contradicted his evidence that the dog had led him to the wall. He also showed no emotion at finding the body. When he was later questioned, he mentioned a distinctive hair clasp, which was not readily visible on Jodi's body, and his description of her clothing implied he had seen her much later than just at school, as he'd claimed. That's it.
Thoughts, anyone? Who wants to jump in first?
So just very
Danny?
briefly,
Kerry?
the question, what Steph just read out, and maybe a lot of people who only get the information from a certain newspaper might ask the same question. What's the significance of Luke finding Jodi's body? But our question to that is, did Luke find the body initially? Because that's the significance. That they made such a big claim that this is one of the pillars of the case against Luke. The fact that he supposedly found the body. But we're going to obviously be looking at police statements. We're going to be looking at information which maybe a lot of people aren't aware of. And we will answer that question. Was it actually Luke that found the body to begin with?
We know who found her. Yep, we know. We know. We know for sure.
So the people at the with Luke, they also know because they've gave statements describing who alerted to the body, and that was the dog, Mia, Luke's dog.
Yep.
So that's a statement for somebody there at the time, one of his first statements.
Yeah. All of the statements said the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's Janine Jones, Alice Walker, and Stephen Kelly, and Luke Mitchell. They all said the same thing, that the dog had alerted at the wall. Luke had jumped over and discovered Jodi on the left side. And the thing about the left side bugs me sometimes because Luke has said that the dog alerted towards that way.
Yeah.
But an argument's been that, oh, well, how did he know which way to go? Well, if it's like Corinne said this herself, she said if he was going to go to the right, then he would have been an absolute idiot because the dog was going to the left. So that's why.
Yeah. And the thing is, if there was something to the right hand side, then Mia would have reacted before the when you think about it.
Yeah, that would be right. Yeah, probably.
And for the benefits of anyone that doesn't know the story that well, Mia was tracker dog, you know, so she knew what she was doing. you know.
Yeah, well, I've got a note here about Mia being a tracker dog. She was being trained by a dog trainer that had 25 years experience.
Yeah.
This dog trainer was never called to give evidence at trial.
Crazy.
Why? Well, I think Dr. Sanjaline said herself that was a few people who probably should have gave statements at the time but weren't asked or weren't used.
Yeah.
So
And without being a tracker dog, Luke hadn't put her into tracker mode before he'd met up with the others, because obviously he didn't know what was going to be decided to be done at the time, because the reason he was even on the path was because Jodi's mother had asked him to go to her house to discuss what they were going to do. Yeah, that's right, Louise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because part of the argument is that Luke led them to the body because he's that evil and that twisted, but his initial thought was that he was going to meet up with Jodi's mum at Jodi's house. So he didn't even know that the people on the path were going to be there. And neither did he know that they were going to ask him to turn back around and go back the same way that he just came.
Yeah.
So how could he have planned to lead them to the body?
T1's got a comment.
Yep.
Could you imagine witnessing? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did show emotion. He just obviously didn't absolutely fall apart, but not everybody does.
Well, went to that
Everybody acts different.
Well,
again, to one of the people, Janine Jones, who was with Luke, in her statement, she actually says that his eyes were wide as if in shock. So the fact is, again, a person at the scene with Luke has said to police in one of their statements that Luke looked shocked. So again, saying that he showed no emotion. But there it was. That type of thing.
Why
were
were
they at the path when Judith thought she was up East Houses? And that's a fair comment, because when Jodi left the house, she said, we'll be mucking about up here. So you would think that was the plans for that night.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions as to why. Sorry. There's a lot of questions as to why these people did what they did, but none of them were asked, because it was all about why Luke did what he did.
Well, I've actually got a few bits of a statement. Steph obviously mentioned the BBC documentary, and they actually do like a reconstruction of Luke and the search party walking down the path, and they actually they do like almost like a reconstruction. They use actor and actresses' voices with the statements, and I made a few notes. So basically, Janine Jones, her statement was the dog started jumping about the wall, and then Luke obviously started searching about. Stephen Kelly, his statement was the dog pulled Luke towards the wall before jumping up at the V. And Luke's statement was we're a bit after the V, the dog was sniffing and jumping up. So all three statements, you'll find the term jumping up. All three people use the exact same words, jumping up. So that adds more weight to the original statement that it was Mia who reacted.
Yep.
Oyana.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we know what other guy was there. So make that as you will.
Hi, Liana. I just thought you said you were late. I said hi to everybody else. I just wanted to say hi to you. Now you're here.
Well, yeah, so Liana was mentioning the 999 call, and obviously the documentary quoted the call handler who spoke to Luke, and she said the lad sounded as if he was in a panic. So she spoke about how Luke was sounding at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Luke had spent so much time cleaning up himself, you know,
Yeah, he'll be off good.
because he's got superpowers and can take his DNA away and leave other people's.
Absolutely.
But, you know, spending that much time doing that, getting rid of an imaginary jacket, he's not going to go and insert himself back into the scene that he's just cleared himself from, is he?
Yep. No.
No common sense, these people.
No. Why would he want to go back?
Another wee comment for T1 there.
That's actually a good point as well. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, certain people I can kind of understand maybe why they weren't there, but then my perception might not be the case. Don't know.
Plus, it's been spoke about before. I think Corinne spoke about it on James English when how quick basically the search party got to the path anyway. I think there was questions about that, about how quick they actually arrived on that path.
Mm-hmm. And there was no record of they three having a conversation on the phone or text with Luke.
Yep.
Yep. No, it was all Jodi's mum. Well, it was one conversation. She asked them to go up to the house, and that's what he was doing.
I don't know why there wasn't some sort of organised multiple family search parties. Because does it not seem a bit daft? 4 people, well, obviously 4 including Luke there, but you would think it would be better to cover more ground. That's one of the things I always thought.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than oh, come on, everybody just go to the one place. It's like, well,
yeah, exactly. I mean, why the path in the first place if you're under the impression Jodi was going to be hanging out at East Houses that night? And actually, it's said that Luke showed good initiative anyway. When they were walking down before they got to the viewpoint, I think there was another kind of opening on the wall, the gyro, I think it's called. He basically showed good initiative because when you think about it, Luke had just walked up that way. So if you're going to be walking back down the way, obviously you're going to be kind of looking at openings and stuff like that because he's already walked up that exact same path.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. He'd be extra vigilant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Danny, is there anything you're wanting to add? Anything else you want to add to what we were all saying there?
Well, I was just going to mention about, because the statements that when people assume, well, how come that wasn't told, or how did we know that? The police statements in themselves can't be used as evidence unless the person who makes a statement says that's correct what they said.
Yep.
So Janine Jones and Stephen Kelly have said no, that's not correct, so that wasn't used. So that's why we came to the court. The prosecution did say there is, no evidence that the dog done anything at the wall. Nobody says anything about that. How could they forget such detailed information like that? Even though we know in statements they have done that, but because of the law, whatever, they don't need to be admissible for evidence if they agree that's correct. So that's why it wasn't known.
Yeah. Yeah. Just seeing if there's anything else.
Who initiated the search of the path?
Yep. That was what I was. Well, that's came back up again. That did that the last time. Oh no, that's a different one. I was putting up that one who initiated the one in the path. And it moved.
Yeah, it's it.
Well, we know who asked Luke to go back down the way he came. That was Jodi's gran.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could have checked Lady Path, but said that
She wouldn't be there.
That wasn't, for some reason said
but
no.
How do you know she wouldn't be? Because again, you would be searching everywhere. You would use go up here, I would down here, use go down that way.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it just no?
It would make sense because Luke's obviously been walking up that path.
Yep.
He's met with other 3 members, so it would make sense for them to maybe just walk up that parallel path, that lady path. It would make much more sense to go that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing is that Luke was actually treated as a suspect pretty much straight away by the police, even though he was one of 4 that had been at the scene. He was separated almost immediately, taken to the police station, questioned, stripped, put in a forensic suit, but none of the rest of them were.
Yep.
Although, apparently in one of the 2 police persons that attended, in one of their statements, they noted that they were of the impression that Jodi left home with Luke.
Yeah.
That could explain why they treated him differently at the time, the initial time. But they did discover pretty quickly after that hadn't been the case.
Mm-hmm.
But they missed.
Did they just assume, or did they, was it an assumption that was made, or was it they've left? Was it enough things like that?
I think it was from the initial speaking to Jodi's mother about her being missing. They've left the house under that impression. Whether she's given that impression on purpose or accidentally, we don't know. It could have just been the way she worded things came over wrong. But that's the impression that they left with. So to find that Luke has discovered the body, they would kind of think, all right, okay, initially. But then that doesn't account for not doing their job properly and taking everybody in, considering the fact that Luke actually didn't really go anywhere near the body, but other people did.
Yep.
Yes. And touched her.
And could have had DNA transference evidence that was vital.
Yeah.
Luke didn't even know that he was here, but he was the police officer, the only child there with all these adults. He's trying to get Luke to go back over. Weird. It's like, wait, why are you not asking an adult to do that, not a child, to look at it again?
Yeah, I think he was the one that phoned the 999 as well. And I always find that really weird. Because, I mean, obviously, every single person there is older than him. Reasonably older than him,
Derek's making a very good point there about statements being changed. In fact, I was going to talk about statements because I did say I had a quote for you. So I've got a quote from Professor Tim Valentine, who was in the BBC documentary we spoke about, and he was talking about the reasons why the first statement is more important, there's more reliability, is because people are obviously less likely to encounter information of suggestion. So, for example, all parties had the same statement, the same story for the first 4 weeks, and then for some reason it changed. Is it possible that because of how they seen the way that the police were treating Luke, they thought, oh, hang on a minute, they're treating him like a suspect. They almost start creating things which didn't actually happen. So that's why the first statement always has more weight, because they're less likely to be contaminated with suggestion and other kind of outside interferences.
I understand the right to change your statement if it's a historic case, because you could remember certain things after having given your initial statement. But the reason why the police take statements at the scene is for that reason, to get the best account of what's happened. I suppose it's one of those legal things that's a bit of a minefield, because if you can't change your statement at all, it's got to be black and white. You can't be like, oh, you can change it, but you can't. So, it's a difficult one.
Plus, why did they change statements? Like, so, for example, if for example, they changed the statement because they started thinking that actually Luke kind of manipulated the situation with the dog kind of thing. That doesn't explain when they were asked in court. So Donald Finlay cross-referenced the statements from the initial statements, and he was asking obviously Janine and Stephen Kelly, and their answers were things like, I can't remember, I don't know, not so, you know what I mean? So it's very, very bad reasons or excuses for changing the statement. It's not as if they had like an obvious.
And I think one of the things was that Stephen Kelly said he meant, because they said something about everybody was upset or everybody was in hysterics, but when he got asked about that,
well, yeah.
Some people only meant people that I care about. Like, it's like, it's just a strange thing to say. So, but I obviously wasn't me and Luke. It's like, well, that's not obvious. You said everybody was upset or whatever his words were, and then went in court goes, but I only meant people that I care about.
That's right.
And at the time, he would have no reason to look at Luke in a different way. So, no, that reason just doesn't make logical sense.
No.
He was sat having a cigarette with Luke when the police were there. So it's not like he had no regard for him at all.
Aye.
For me, it seems strange that in court, certain people are allowed to just say, oh, I don't know. And yet, look at the way they treated Shane, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That just seems like, for me, that doesn't sit right for me,
No, it wasn't exactly balanced, was it?
No, not at all. Not at
and
all.
Like the thing about the discovery upon the body, like speaking of statements, I think Janine and Stephen Kelly, who were leading the search party, and obviously Luke was behind them with Mia and Alice Walker. I think they tried to say that Luke, when he entered the V shape, he just kind of immediately turned left and knew what he was doing, kind of thing. But that's actually in conflict with their statement, because if they're walking ahead, they wouldn't be able to see what direction or what Luke done when he went over the V.
Yep. And like one of what you're saying is how Gran Alice was behind, so she wouldn't have seen what the dog was doing. So, but then in a later statement, I can't remember how long after it, but she said that the dog was guiding. Luke was guiding Mia to the wall, as in making her go to the wall. So she changed. She said that she changed to that as well, as in just basically everybody's just changed to it was Mia that found her, or I couldn't see, to no, it's definitely looked a bit straight there. It's a huge, big, significant change for 3 people.
Yep.
Change.
Yeah. It is crazy.
3 people changing it in the exact same way.
Yeah. Together.
Yeah, and nobody's sitting saying they did it to be deceitful. They might have had so many influences by each other, the police, other people. Things have just got twisted in their heads.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah. Especially with a grief-filled shock situation.
Yeah.
Families are susceptible to being, led, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a trauma, your brain kind of shuts down in the moment. So a lot of the memories actually you can't recall very well. So if somebody's influencing that, you might actually bring that into your subconscious, because it's like, oh, that's all I've got, because my head won't let me remember.
Yep.
Andra says, yes, also the police said that Luke had 3 potential routes he could have taken behind the wall: left, right, or straight ahead. There was only one path at the time, down to the left.
Yeah.
Right. So he didn't even have an option.
Yep.
Plus, he had the distinctive, was it snowboarding boots? Was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, surely that should have been easy enough to prove whether he'd walked there or not, or, that kind of thing. I mean, these seem like obvious things. It's like, you know, they've been doing shoe prints for decades, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like as if it's some new modern thing that, you know, it should be, the basics should be covered, you know.
Yeah.
But again, we know they weren't covered at all during this
Mm,
investigation.
yeah.
So
No respect for DNA or crime scene or
Yep.
anything like that.
No respect for Jodi.
Well, yeah, yep. Thanks for saying that. That's what I usually say first. Just add it in. Yep, you're right, Sean. We've got so many good comments. I'm just frightened I'm going to miss somebody's.
There's no way like was ever gonna. Yeah, that's right. Was from almost the first night.
Yep. And I mean, Sean's from down near London area, and he remembers hearing about it, you know, well out with Scotland, you know. So if the media coverage is that far and wide, you know, what hope do they have of receiving a fair trial, you know?
Like, do you know what? I think it just he couldn't have, unless it was a bunch of 9-year-olds like me that didn't know anything about it.
Well, even Jerome, my friend, heard about it in Belgium. It was all reported in Belgium as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which goes to show, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Look, Derek's got a wee. You calm down, Derek.
Yeah.
There you go. If anybody's looking for legal representation, Derek Evans.
Derek's the man, yes. He will write you up a lovely statement for you, yeah, he will. Doesn't charge very much. He's quite good. He doesn't charge too much. Yeah.
I think Donna Finlay's another tricky one, considering that, yes, he could have done better, but that's hindsight saying that.
Yep.
But he also had huge limitations with legal aid as well. And what the Crown, the Crown asked for the defence to go easy on the Johns family, and that was agreed. So a lot of the way of making it clear how things were was kind of eliminated there, especially in this exact subject. 11 foot.
But you'd think there would be, you know, you'd think there would be like, though, there's obviously an agreement to go, you know, to be delicate about certain things, but at the same time, justice is justice, and you know, you're there to put on a case. You know, you're there to stand up for your client, and not that I'm being critical of Luke's lawyer. I just mean the whole court process. You know, it shouldn't be, oh, you know, just go easy with him. You know, obviously you wouldn't want to be. I can see the merits of them not wanting to sort of badger the family in terms, because that can make a jury look the other way and think, oh, that's a shame for the family, and you know, so there are ways that I can see where, you know, there are merits for doing
exactly why. That's exactly why the defence would have agreed to it. But in doing that, they've kind of tied their hands behind their back in a way. Like,
you would have thought they would have put parameters on it. It's like, we'll go easy to the extent of not doing this, but you know.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, there wasn't like a balance. For example, they brought in Corin. They tried to use the fact of Luke getting a tattoo. They brought that to the trial, whereas that's got absolutely nothing to do with the case against Luke Mitchell. Yeah. So again, it was a bit of that imbalance.
What they did that for was to show that Corinne would give Luke whatever he wanted, and it's like, all right, okay, there's a massive difference here, you know, between a tattoo, which I've known a lot of people that got tattoos when they were underage.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between that and something like this.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
They publicly wrote on social media and talked that Luke's DNA was found on Jodi when it wasn't. If they claim untrue claims, then they should be pulled up for it. Is that the family? Which means
Presume.
that the family, you mean, Louise?
She'll tell us.
I know what Louise means. You know, just I'll put it back up. I'll put it up.
Aye.
So
I
everybody
kept
can see
jumping. I
it.
couldn't follow
Oh,
it.
right, okay. Well, they publicly wrote on social media and talked that Luke's DNA was found in Jodi when it wasn't.
Yeah. People from the other side, let's see.
Yeah, but also the papers as well. They've influenced
And
that.
probably to this day, they're still writing that.
Yep. Partial
Yeah.
DNA.
Oh, I forgot to say to everybody, the Frontline documentary. Oh, sorry, were you going to speak there?
No, it's cool.
No, I
Go
was
for it.
just shouting. I was
Was
just
that
shouting.
please? It went funny. No, I was going to say the documentary, the Frontline documentary is in the video description for anybody that didn't see it. The first one. I meant to say that earlier on when we were talking about it. And the links for the other one is there as well and everything like that. So yeah, just remember that. Sorry.
Yeah, Louise said yes. So I was going easy on the Jones defending his client to the best of his ability. Yeah. Yeah. You know. I don't agree with it. I just understand the reasons why.
Yep.
I think, you know, and like Cheryl says, in such a case, you do kind of have to park emotions at the door.
Yep. You do. Sorry, that's taking a bit of time for I'm pressing them and it's taking a bit of time. It's up there now though.
Police said that it transferred from the t-shirt with rain. Aye, well, we would know if they hadn't left it out in the rain.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, that was a incorrect course of action because the body shouldn't have been left exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I still can't understand that. I still shake my head about that the most. I think the disrespect to Jodi lying out there like that, you know. And I think, why are people not questioning that? Why are more people not questioning that? You know, why are they saying other things?
Mm.
Again, it's probably just comes down to kind of lack of awareness of actual facts and information. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why we're making these videos, because there'll be people watching who might not even be aware of the fact that there's a change in statements. That was Mia who initially found the body. So,
oh yeah, and Louise put this up as well. Yep, another great thing that they did. Yep, there's how to mess up a crime scene 101. You know,
a bit, chopping trees down.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. There was a bit, wasn't there, about hold on.
No.
Luke's description of her clothing implied he had seen her much later than just at school. That was a bit of the article. What do you think of that?
That was just written down randomly by somewhere, but was it not? That about a hair tie thing.
Mm-hmm.
The hair tie thing, but it was saying about his description of her clothing implied he'd seen her much later than just at school. Did that as well. But to me, he found her body. He was there for quite a while. He obviously saw the clothes she was wearing because they were all over the place.
And also, at that age, you don't own thousands and thousands of clothes. Like,
Yeah.
you know exactly buying a new pair of jeans every week, especially when you've got that sort of fashion. It was not cheap. These baggy trousers and these hoodies and boots and shoes for alternative.
Plus, plus the thing is, obviously, Jodi's his girlfriend. He would recognise clothes.
Yes.
What she owned. For example, the top, what Jodi was wearing, with the Deftones symbol. It's quite clear, it stands out, even if you maybe just kind of got a quick glimpse of it in a dark environment kind of thing. And the trousers as well.
A wee quick glimpse driving past.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I know.
Some
You'd
of the
also
comments-
one's hair was
Sorry.
important.
There was just, a lot of the comments are talking about the DNA and the rain, and and also pointing out about the fact that they said the t-shirt had been in the wash.
Yeah, it was
That's
fresh.
what they transferred.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, the thing about the t-shirt is that it was the excuse of the DNA being on the t-shirt was that it had belonged to Jodi's sister.
Mhm.
However, she and her sister didn't live in the same house.
Yep.
It was Jodi's own house she'd been to that day.
Mhm.
So how did it end up being her sister's t-shirt? And they said it was obviously freshly washed. So how's it got DNA still?
Yep.
If it was her t-shirt, where's her DNA?
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
there was 6. Well, know that we can take this for truth because who knows what they get tested and what came back and what was answered because it's all messed up anyway. But according to what's wrote down it, there was 6 female DNA found, but none. It didn't come back as Jodi. So that was another strange thing about the investigation, is in things like that. But she shows you either that's true or it's just something that's not true, and they're writing that down again.
Yeah.
It shows you don't know. There's so much random DNA, all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So true.
That's John's making a good point about the.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, on T1 as well.
Yeah, T1.
Listen, everybody's on the ball tonight. You're on the ball in the comments. You're all doing a reason. That's how I'm putting them up, because you're doing a reason.
Yeah, I mean, her hair was pulled out, so.
Yep.
Danny made a good point a second ago when she was talking about inaccurate reporting by the media, because one of the things that I picked up when I was watching the BBC documentary again was, at the time during the trial, the press had written that the pathologist Anthony Bisuto said it was exactly like the Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia.
Yep.
Whereas he actually said in the documentary, no, I can't say that it is exactly like it. No.
Yep.
I wouldn't think it when I'd seen the body. So again, that's another example of wrongful reporting. And this is actually during the trial. This wasn't even before. This was during the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And again, he wasn't asked questions that could have helped.
Mm-hmm.
I feel significantly.
Yeah.
Selective questions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Black Dahlia does actually come up with a question in future videos.
Yep.
So.
Did you see what Derek said?
Yeah, I was trying not to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I was staring at you, Sharon. I was like, don't laugh. Oh, dear.
He's not saying any lies. He's got a point. There was.
Yeah, he has.
riddled with
I could hear it in his voice, and it just.
Mhm.
Do we want to go on to the second question?
What was the second question again?
Yeah.
The missing knife.
Okay. Yeah. Do that.
Everybody's good for that.
Yeah, go for it. You want? Yeah.
Been leaning on my hands, got pins and needles in it now.
We've been jabbering away for 50 minutes already. Believe it or not.
Right, so next question. What about the missing knife? At the time of the murder, Mitchell owned a skunting knife which has never been found despite an extensive search of his house. During a search of the family home many months later, the pouch from the knife was found. Inscriptions on it read 666 JJ 1989-2003, which is Jodi's birth and death years. Anybody?
Who wants to go first?
Danielle.
Right. Looking at my notes, well, that missing knife was handed in by Corinne. But obviously that's not going to get put out in headlines, is it? Because then...
No.
So, I think, sorry.
First,
Right. Big one for me is, it's not a missing knife, let's say, because it's not missing if you've got it, type of thing. When you're talking about where it was missing from, the size of the pack, the pocket knife kind of. I know it's not a pocket knife, but
Yep. Wee pouch.
For the knife that would be in that, there would be no chance. There's no way. I don't actually have any quotes written for any people that spoke about that, but I do think there's been comments made by people in the documentary or something about the night. There's a good chance at all that would cause the type of intense injuries that was done to Jodi in this wee knife. So basically they've found something that they could quickly use. And obviously the fact that they're going, there was no murder weapon found, but we've got this because there's a missing knife from it. There's your headlines, and that's what happened.
And we've still got people coming to us as last week asking us about the missing knife. So I mean, people are coming all the time in the group and asking, "What about this? What about that?" And we love getting questions. We're always really welcoming. If anybody's watching this and they've got questions, come join the group, ask your questions. We're trying to answer questions here in the video, but obviously, you can have a better discussion in the group. And if we don't know anything, we just call up the big boss.
we don't want to plug the book. Every Friday, but I was going to say that Dr. Sandra Lynn's book.
Smooth, I know. I was going to say it's smooth there, wasn't it? It was a bit smooth. Since I'm getting blocked from Sandra anyway, officially. Yeah, you'll get it. I mean, that's I always say an encyclopedia of everything.
Sandra goes into detail about what Danny had said about the likelihood that this knife wouldn't have caused the actual damage what was caused.
Yeah. And the link for the book's in the description as well, if anybody's thinking of getting it. But you can also, if you come onto the group, you can find out how to get it direct and other ways to help by buying the book directly.
Yeah. The knife question was the last question I needed to be answered to decide how I felt about it, the whole case. Because obviously it's a potential murder weapon. It's quite a big thing to say. Oh, his usual knife he had was missing.
But there was a knife thing, wasn't there? After
different one, yeah.
Different one, but nothing that was tasted or anything. I'm assuming because it was found. So
no, I think they have it, but nothing's ever come from it.
Yep.
There was another knife.
How many missing knives?
I had to put that up because she made me laugh.
It's the fact that obviously they didn't find the knife when they first searched the house, right? So that's why they can say the knife was missing.
Yeah.
Because technically that's true, but they're not then being transparent and given the information that Corinne handed it in the next day.
Yeah.
That's how they get away with it. It's twisted truths.
Yep.
Yep.
It's,
And again,
have
that
to
gets
put-
headlines. So
Up because we're you know we did it. But you're not here to be embarrassed, so in the flesh. So well, she did say I was going to be officially blocked, so I'm living dangerous.
I'll be on a stern warning.
Yeah. But was it not the defence? Was it not through the defence that the recovered knife? And I hate saying recovered because it wasn't hidden to be, recovered. It was just like found. It was located. You remembered where it was. That
Cut
kind
off
of thing.
She took off
Oh yeah.
and running about with it.
Yeah.
Which is normal for a mother.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
she didn't know where she'd put it, and then she found it the next day.
Mhm.
And then she gave it in.
Yep.
She gave it to the lawyer, and I think there was a statement given by the lawyer when he handed it into
Yep.
the police.
And did Anthony Bisciotto not say that there's no way that was the knife anyway? I know you were saying that, Danny, and you were saying you didn't have a quote, but it was, I think, Kenny Wive, got a quote for that.
Kenny.
I don't think I've got one, no, but
Tut, tut,
I know what you're
tut,
talking
tut,
about,
tut.
because
Yeah.
he was obviously talking about the damage. Obviously, it cut into like tissue and the windpipe, and
Yeah.
the likelihood that something that small, as Danny was saying, wouldn't have caused that amount of damage.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no expert, but even I would sit there and doubt that.
And this is a guy who's a pathologist, so he's probably
Yeah.
seen similar
Seen
types
photos.
of. Yeah.
I mean, Luke was a skinny 14-year-old as well. He wouldn't have had that much power to do the damage that was done.
And just a reminder as well, obviously there was no injuries on Luke, just for anybody that's watching this just now. If you are watching this just now, this is video number 3, and we've obviously got 1 and 2. You'll find that if you look on the channel. But yeah, Jodi fought hard with somebody, and Luke had no injuries.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad you brought it up, because when we spoke about that in the first week, I think it was maybe King Bear or someone in the comments left a comment saying that Jodi didn't put up a struggle. Well, that's completely at odds at what Anthony Bisciotto said, because he said that obviously she had defensive injuries, and that suggests that she put up a struggle. It obviously suggests that whoever whoever her attacker was would have had some sort of injuries himself.
Yep. Definitely.
Yep.
And no comment.
100%.
Yep.
There's somebody that said, don't mention the dreaded jacket. That's next week.
Is that next week?
Yeah,
The magic parka.
that'll be fun. Oh yeah. We'll all need to take chill pills for next week.
Ooh.
Rosemary, get prepared for next week.
Yeah.
Plus, to state the obvious, if Luke had done this, why would he want to be seen to be getting another knife anyway? Why would Corinne want to buy him a knife? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, there's no logic to it. It doesn't make sense.
No.
I mean, he's acting like an innocent person, just going about as normal. He's not over, which...
Talking about that, about being honest and how they had done that wrong anyway, the receipt that was handed in, if they're trying to hide the fact that there's knives being bought, then they wouldn't be handing in the police the receipts with things like that. It wouldn't make sense. Yeah. So it shows you that it wasn't out of weirdness or dangerous. It was just...
Yeah.
I liked what Diana said. Yeah.
I mean,
I think so too, Liana.
the X-Men will be trying to recruit him shortly.
Yeah. So is there anything anybody else wants to say? Anything that you think you've not had the chance to say, or you've got written down and you want to add to what we've said?
Oh, Danny's checking.
Man.
Just us.
Wait till I get to appendix 8 seconds.
Like it.
No, I don't. I'm fine.
Nothing. Stay. Nothing.
Just that Rosemary says, then it better no be a clock. Who did that last
Mhm.
week?
Last week, yes.
Over.
Last week.
Well, no, yeah, the answer should have been time will tell. That should have been the answer. That's what you should have said.
Well, not in this case. Time did not
Mhm.
tell.
Yeah.
Well,
Anything you'd like to add,
yeah.
Kenny? Oh, sorry, honey.
I was just going to say, I think, in fact, Danny shared something earlier about was it a camping trip? It was like an invoice or like a receipt.
No,
for
I did
different
see.
things. So I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say about that.
Well, I kind of mentioned it because I don't. There's nothing. Basically, it was a catalogue receipt. Because also back in the day, you know, ordering things online or anything, it's all catalogue. And it's got. We've got it here in front of me, but I'm trying to read it. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Take your time.
Basically, it's got that a hat, boots. Kind of read it now, but basically, it's just. But this was also handed in. The police got this, and you see Corinne Mitchell's name on it. It's, what I see was December, but I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
I don't know how to write it, because I don't believe I've written it's written in papers and stuff, so I don't know if that is for December. But I do know that it says on there that it says that I was saying how that proves that they're not trying to hide things like that, as in like, oh, don't show the post this, because it's like you're saying, there's nothing to hide. It's not a weird thing. It's not dangerous that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Danny, what else was on that list? And all the special kind of footwear, like boots. What else was actually on that list?
And Mark, look, to get my document up here. It's been away because I'm in panicking mode. But it's tall black boots. Something I kind of read. Russian hat. So I'm guessing one of the comfy hats, the buff and stuff on it. I kind of read the rest of the writing.
So I guess what you can take from this is people think that look, Corin was just buying knives for the sake of it. This knife was part of an actual, I'm guessing, like preparation for a trip, because there was boots, there was like a hat, so there was a reason, there was an actual reason why this knife was purchased.
Yep. Because he was outdoorsy, you know, he was always doing outdoorsy things, and you know, Derek just said there as well. I mean, I like that what Derek said. Derek's on the ball the night. He's right.
Derek's been had a knife at that age as well. He used to have when he went fishing. Yeah, fishing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Plus he probably used not Derek, Luke used knives probably up at his mum's work and all that as well, you know, and you know, like again, it doesn't mean he's going about, you know, knife doesn't equal. Maybe if you're walking about in the streets of Glasgow and you get a knife, it's different for somebody that's got a tent with them and a knife. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
I'm from Glasgow, so I'm no dissing Glasgow. Just had to add that in there. But
a lot of, as Derek said, like a lot of young boys, whether it be like a Swiss Army knife or like the knife Derek mentioned, it's actually a useful thing to have whether you're going on a camping trip or fishing. You know what I mean? There's nothing sinister about it.
Yep, Leanna's just said that there. Yep.
Leanna, yeah. See, Leanna's.
Yep.
Spot on.
Yep, they did. And I mean, in terms, I've always had the opinion of the fact that, you know, he wrote on the pouch. You know, people always say, oh, why write on that? You know, and it was a bit insensitive. And a lot of people, I mean, they're right when they say that. It could be perceived as insensitive. But you have to remember that he was heavily doped up, not in his right mind, you know, just seen what he'd seen. And guys and lasses are different. He wanted to have a wee something with Jodi on it, you know. And it was just unfortunate, in my opinion, that it was a knife pouch, because it gives people connotations that, you know, that it's something sinister. But,
Yeah.
you know, I don't feel it's sinister, you know. I just think it's something he wanted that he could have in his pocket and, you know.
Typical 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he would have carried anything like a wallet or anything like that, but
Mhm.
you would have to have something with a certain colour, like a sort of light brown colour, to be able to see
Yeah.
writing.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, people, as you said, Sharon, people express grief differently, don't they? So
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Did he not write the Nirvana quote on it as well?
I did.
Yeah, because that's
That was our favourite, wasn't it, Nirvana? So,
yeah,
He also wrote that on the path on a wee card for her as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
So
before
I
they,
read a lot of that as well.
before they knew where it was from the song, everybody was like, "Oh my god!" And it's like,
I don't know if it says in the actual article, Steph, but this kind of misconception that Luke carved into the pouch, you didn't carve, you just wrote it.
Pen. Wee pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
it just said inscription, but yeah, people said carved, and that makes it sound quite violent. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
like this pen that he used, it was a blue pen, so, but yeah, that's very good. Oh, it's just, you know, everything that he's done has been questioned to death, and it's like, yeah, great, but what about everybody else?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, Liana, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's interpretation, isn't it? You know, the newspapers want to interpret things in a salacious way that sells papers. You know, that's it.
Yep.
The newspapers are not there to help the justice system to act, you know, but they definitely can have a really negative knock-on effect on justice.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, look at what's just come out today.
Slowly soaking the music you listen to.
Yeah.
And
there's
Nirvana quote, Charlie Manson. It's all
like years ago.
What's that?
There's stuff today coming out from 25 years ago that the BBC were up to.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Diana.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've watched that interview quite a few times, and see now it's like a lot of things make sense that didn't really.
Yeah.
But that's 25 years that it's took for this to come out.
Yeah, I hope it happens more often than we know as well.
Yeah, it does.
Because again, the media are going to want to try and shush things of that nature. You know, it's like the retraction's always like at the back of the paper. You know, hidden under something big.
Aye, Louise just said the press have a cheek to comment about the BBC.
Yep. I was just putting that up there. It just took a wee minute. But yes, don't get me started on the BBC.
No.
Not today. Not today.
Yeah, T1's saying about the knife inscription was foolish. It didn't help his defence, but he was a child. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, I shouldn't do this because it's going to make me look guilty, because he's in his mind, you know, he's not guilty. He's not even going to second guess.
That's a good point as well. It just, again, it's going back to logic and natural behaviours. If he was guilty, would he have done that on a knife pouch? No.
No, I don't think so. The judgment waiting 6 and a daughter. I know.
You're reading it as you're thinking the same thing.
I know, I realised that halfway through.
Yeah. It takes a wee sec. When I click it, it takes a wee second. I have to put, since you've not been called a legend or a double legend tonight, I don't want you to feel left out. So
Oh, for God's sake.
exactly, Steph, you know. Because I know
Yeah.
you live for that kind of compliment.
Thank you. Not talking to you, Sharon.
Am I blocked? Is that it? Am I blocked?
No, well, you're on thin ice. Don't go further.
Were you swigging there, Craig?
Great.
Honestly. Oh.
Oh, well, you know, we always have to, you know, it's a very serious subject that takes a lot out of the people who are so emotionally invested in it, you know, so it's sometimes we just need to be a bit human, you know, at the same time as being humane, you know, about things. You know, so if we laugh at each other, we laugh at each other, you know.
You laugh
It's
at
better
me.
that than burning out and yeah, but it's better that than burning out, doing this and then not doing any more videos. It's like that's the option. It's like, you know, take us as you find us, or
it might not. I mean, it might not come across, but we actually do have personality. Honest.
some of us do.
So
Some of us have too much of it. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I think unless anybody's got anything else they want to say, everybody's said everything.
Is there any questions or comments? No, I think
Well, that's
pretty much covered it.
I've got through them all. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Yep, no. Any last questions you guys in the chat want to throw in? Oh.
Oh, you're the double legend tonight.
Yes, it's double. Ah,
And he's not even got
thank
quotes.
you.
Kenny, when you've not got your quotes, you're just natural in it. You know?
Yep.
It comes across really well.
The secret is don't prepare.
No, don't prepare. I know how much work we've all put into this. We've all put into this. You know, I know how much days of videos and behind the scenes stuff we've been doing. We've been talking to the wee small hours about this. Many a night. Many a night. We have. There you go, Sean as well. We need to get Sean on, because Sean's amazing. I like Sean. I like you, Sean. Yep. It's the same. I mean, that's it. That is. These. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing.
One of cheese.
One Luigi's plus one spare. First Steph. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not speaking to Steph. I'm not speaking to. We're not speaking
I'm not
to each other.
speaking to you at all now.
Oh, look.
You're next.
No pressure for next week. Oh, well, yeah, that's us kind of caught up with the comments. Oh, hang on, what next team is from?
Thanks, Louise.
We love you, Louise.
And Sandra.
Yeah, we do.
Louise.
What next team? Well, we're out with posters, and you're all out with posters, and everything. More videos on social media, keeping everybody talking about Luke, you know, because like I always say, the worst thing is if he gets forgotten about. So keep sharing his pictures and stories, and get on your Facebook and tell people why this moves you so much. You know, encourage your friends to get involved, family, anyone, get out there and talk to everybody. You know, you're on the bus, start talking to the people, you know. But obviously, you know, you you might get thrown off the bus, right enough, but you're talking to strangers. But you know, it's oh, here, wait a minute. I have to put this up because have I? Have I?
How high can your voice go, Sharon?
Yeah, there might be a reason. There might be a reason. And somebody in the chat might know why. So yeah, anyway. Yeah. There we go, just add Sean's wee one again there. Yep.
Keep the faith and do not stop fighting. Truth will prevail.
Yep. And
What
I think
way
that's a good way to end it. I know that's what I was going to say. Thanks, Sean. And thanks everybody in the chat. These are all amazing.
Thank
the comments really help us. Rosemary said, "Yeah, like a kid at Christmas." Am I giggling? Yeah, well, these things happen.
Comment. Put Derek's comment up, please.
Oh, what? Oh.
Well said, Derek.
Yeah,
We love Derek as well.
we do.
Do the wee love heart thing. I've not done that for years. Like, how do you do this? It doesn't look like
Oh, cool.
I do it, and I can't do it right. I
it's like, yeah, I could kind of do this. I don't know. I love you, Derek. Anyway, just can't do that.
Oh, I know. I always do it wrong because it's like when you're doing it that way, you're seeing it yourself, but on the camera it's the other way around. It looks like you should be doing it, you know, like that. It doesn't. It never, you know, never sits right. But, oh, sorry, Dark Side of the Moon. I never said hi to you. I saw you in the chat when you came in. Just seen your name there and it reminded me. So I'm sorry I never said hello. She'll fall out with me. But anyway, I think we'll just hang on, I need to add this because this will be the last comment.
Stop it.
Oh, but again, it's great. Thank you everybody for all you're doing.
Watching and commenting.
Keep sharing because it's for Luke and for Jodi, and the more information we get out there, the better.
Sorry,
Yep.
Lisa's
What?
she's just put a comment and I didn't get it for about 5 seconds. I was like, look at it.
I've seen it. I'm not putting it up though.
Don't put it up. Oh, steps off.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm fine.
Oh. Right. So anyway, I'm just going to thank everybody. Thank to our team for being here. Thank you for all your hard work and everything you are doing. You know that we're all doing together. And I'll just steps away, but I'll just keep going. Thanks everybody in the chat and thanks everybody that's part of the group and all your participation. It's amazing. So I'll just say goodbye to everybody and we'll see you all next week, hopefully.
Thanks,
Want to
guys.
say bye?
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Cheers.